Now, what is Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle? First of all, for the basics, it is a free-to-play game in the sense that you can get all characters, play any event and story mode quest that you want, play as much to your heart's desire. But admittedly, if you do spend money, you may have an easier time, may have more fun, and you may have a higher chance of pulling cooler cards. Now, as you can see here, the prices for the Dragon Stones, the in-game currency, are sort of fair early on, but as you can see, as the number increases, it gets a little more harsh. $50 for one multi-summon of 10 characters, and then 8 single summons don't really seem very worth it to me, especially for 50 bucks. This is a free-to-play game, and if you did more than 2 multi-summons, you're spending almost $100. And as much as I love this game, I've played this game for almost a year, I personally don't feel comfortable with spending that much money on this game. Then again, if you have fuck you money, go ahead and do it. Fucking spend those ducats, boy. So, these Dragon Stones are primarily used for pulling on banners. These banners will give you an assortment of different characters. This one is one of the better ones where you can get Full Power Freezer, Super Saiyan Goku, Super Saiyan 3 Goku, or Kid Buu. Now, these banners have a percentage rate of giving you a super, super rare card, the highest rarity at the moment, which is about 6 to 7%, which isn't very high, but keep in mind that when this game first launched, when I first started playing it, the percentage for pulling in SSR was actually 2%. So over time, the percentage has gotten better. Now, Dragon Stones can also be used to add character slots, so you can have more slots for your characters, and also to restore stamina. Now, when you play Quest Mode, which is the primary mode to get Dragon Stones, and, you know, kind of have fun. I mean, it is the story mode of the game. It's not exactly DBZ Saga story, but it is within the nature of it, and it is fun. I kind of like it. And this is where you get most of your Dragon Stones. In total, from all the quests combined, you get about 500 Dragon Stones. With missions, you get about maybe 40 more, so you get a fair amount. But as you can see here, each stage requires stamina. This is the very first stage in the game, and as you can see, it requires 11 stamina for Z-Hard. And as you get higher and higher, it will require more and more stamina. Eventually, you're going to hit a glass ceiling where you do not have enough stamina to rank up, and because you can't rank up and replenish your stamina, you kind of have to do what I do, which is play the game for maybe 2 hours a day, and then take a break and come back the next day, or maybe come back later in the night and play it some more. As you can see here, this is one of the game's events. As you can see, it's 40 stamina, which is a lot more than that. And speaking of events, this game does have new events coming from time to time, the most recent one being the Emperor of the Evil Universe, where you can get a cool, super duper cool, free, yes, this game gives out free SSRs, Final Form Frieza. As you can see here, you can farm 10, make his super attack even stronger, or just do 1 if you don't want to waste your time. And this is not the only free SSR. There's a fair number. There's a Super Saiyan Goku you can get from this event, and also a Super Buu, which you can get from this event, which is pretty cool. The game didn't always have that, and it was always kind of hard to get decent cards unless you pulled them. You can also get cool cards from doing the World Tournament mode in this game. The World Tournament mode is basically you face off against other players in, pretty much the World Tournament. You can attack them just like any other boss in the game. The characters of the enemy are not directly controlled, it's controlled by the AI, that's how the game does it, but the team is created by them, so it's kind of like a pseudo player versus player environment. And very quickly, I will not really go in depth with the gameplay because it's kind of explained just downloading the game, but I guess I'll just mention it really quickly. The game does have a very Pokemon sort of feel when it comes to gameplay. What I mean by that is there are 5 types. Each type has their strengths and weaknesses. Strength can be yellow, which is 5. 5 can be int, which is purple. Purple can be tech, which is green, etc., etc. So when you go to a certain boss, you might have a team that is heavily typed to one type of character or card in order to beat that boss. And, in other times, if you go in and don't know what the boss is going to be, that's why I use, go online and figure out what the boss is. For example, I use DBZ Dokkan Battle subreddit. They have a whole mission area that you can basically see what boss is going to come up. And that basically saves you time and it saves your stamina, because if you end up going in with a full Phi team and seeing a strength boss, you end up getting wrecked, and then you have to wait for your stamina to regenerate, which is always a pain in the ass. Other than that, the basics of the game, the absolute core basics, is that you need to get 12 ki in order to do a super attack. You can get actually 6 ki if it's the same color as your character. which is good because that's usually more likely. And your super attack does a lot more damage than a regular attack. And even if you don't get a super, the more ki you have, the more power you do, or more powerful you are. And eventually, what happens is that you can get a Dokkan mode where your Dokkan mode bar fills up, and it goes up, up, up. Eventually, it hits the apex, and you're ready to climax. And what you do is that you activate it with whatever character, usually the strongest character you have. It attacks all characters, so if there's more than one boss, you can actually attack all of them and possibly kill them, and you do more damage, and it's basically just another cool addition to the game where you basically do a super duper attack. There's other small things about the game that you'll figure out if you decide to play it. You know, there's support items that you can use that basically increase your health once it's low. You can also use it to get more ki, to do supers, and there's also damage reduction items, you know, kind of like the basics of the gameplay. But, you know, it's a very fun game. I've been playing it for, like I said, almost a year now. I just logged in today and got my day 333 login bonus. I didn't accept it yet. I've just been saving for the Gogeta event because the 1-year anniversary of this game is coming up. So if you decide to play, now is a good time because they have that login event going on, which I don't know if I mentioned, they do give you gifts. It's not very frequent, but over time you do get a fair bit of Dragon Stones, and hey, once you're free to play, you don't have quests, you don't have anything else, you rely on events, and you rely on gifts. So some events will give you 3 to 4 Dragon Stones, some events will give you up to 30. Kind of depends on what events come out. But all in all, this is a very fun game, very cool. I definitely would recommend you check it out. Been playing it for a year. And that's pretty much what this game is in a nutshell.